Okay, one of the things I like to do when putting the exhaust on is just give it a little bit of the anti-seize. Should probably use the copper stuff for this, but I don't have any, so I'm using the gray stuff. And it just keeps the threads from galling and makes it a little easier for them to come out in the future if we need to pull them off for any reason. Now with these manifolds, typically you're going to have the studs on the end and then the bolts in here in the center. It's not always that way, so try to remember when you pull these off how many studs you had on each side and what bolts you had on each side.
And what are the studs for?
Well, there's a heat shield that goes on here to protect the starter and some other wiring and stuff like that. So when you put the heat shield on, I don't know if I got it handy. Here's one. They look like something like this. It's for the other side, this one. You can see that also had a broken stud on it. So the car does it as well. But this would sit, of course it's flipped around on the other side. And you can kind of see how the studs match up.
Right.
And then they get the little 10 mil nut that goes on and holds this heat shield on. I'll have to find one for this. I don't remember what I did with it.
Hey guys, so I snugged them up with the gun, and they need to be torqued in the same pattern that circle pattern. Anyways, so it calls for 17 foot-pounds, but we're going to use our smaller wrench, so we need to times it by 12 to get inch pounds. So it comes to 204. Got it set for 205. 1 pound isn't going to.
1 inch pound. Yeah.
1 inch pound isn't going to break the studs. So we'll go and get them snugged up in the same pattern, and turn the wrench the right way. That might work.
Yep. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, remember?
I've heard that.
Most of the time anyways. You get the reverse threads every now and then.
I suppose. So the center bolts are 10 mil, and then the outside bolts are 13, because they have a 10 mil that goes on top of them after, right, for the heat shield, like Brian was talking about.
Yep. The heat shield, sometimes the oil dipstick tube attaches
And I
to
suppose
them.
like possibly some wiring harness attachments.
Normally you don't get the wiring harness too close to the exhaust manifold, but you never know. I've seen stranger things.
Okay, so I think we got this side buttoned up.
All right, let's
Go to the other side.
We'll roll it over, do the other side.
Right on.
Okay, so I got Mike getting the flywheel on. You gotta be careful because the holes have to line up a certain way, so don't just stick the first bolt in and think you got it, because they'll be out, they could be out part of hole. The other thing you need to do is you need to put some Loctite on the bolt, and that's very important. You don't want those suckers coming loose. I think you got it there.
I thought so, but I don't. There. No, that one's not in. That one's not in.
Keep turning. There you go.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You've done like a 780 at least, so
Just wanted to be double
you're
sure.
just double checking. Okay.
There, I think this is it. Oh, no, that's not going to work.
Well, we're gonna let Mike play with that a bit, and he'll figure it out eventually.
Hey guys, so now we're going to torque this up. We did the unthinkable thing and snugged them up with the ratchet, so now we'll torque them.
Well, yeah, we're gonna torque them, but what torque do those go to, Mike?
70.
70 what?
70 foot-pounds.
Foot-pounds, okay.
Which is really easy.
And we're gonna torque them in diagonal patterns, but I'm gonna have to put the camera down because I have to go hold the crank bolt, otherwise this wheel's gonna do that, see? There's no way you're gonna get 70 out of that.
Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna go do that. We'll get this thing torqued up and then we'll move on. Mike, tell the people what you did.
I take no responsibility for this whatsoever. So we're torquing up the bolts and everything's going nice, star pattern, did the whole thing, and then this one just pops off. Like, I mean, obviously the arms are big, but I mean,
Yeah.
that just ripped right off. Luckily, Brent had the right
We managed to get it out of there, but it was close. You know what? I think we have to get some reversible drill bits.
Yeah, that's probably the next thing on the list of
Yeah.
things to buy.
That almost ended up back in the oil pan because it took off while I was drilling it. So
And of course, it's way past whenever it should be o'clock. So
yeah.
but that's okay because we're done that. Now we're going to shove it in there and see if it fits.
Yeah. This stuff does happen when you're working late at night. It never happens during midday, you know. So
Especially when the stores are open.
yeah. So we got lucky. We had a couple extras, and away we go. We're gonna get that engine. It's ready to go in. So we'll put the guide plate on there. I don't know what you call it really. It's the transmission to bell housing adapter plate.
This one.
Yeah, that guy right there. We're gonna put that in place so that we can get our starter mounted up. When we don't want to forget that. We'll be learning a whole new string of bad words if we forget that. I'm telling you right now. So we'll get that in there, and then we're gonna do some motion capture of this going in the car. See, it's gotta go in there, right there. It's going in there. We're getting ready to put the intake back on, but there's a couple things we have to do first, because once we put the intake on, it makes it a heck of a lot harder to get at these areas. So we got to put our coolant lines, and we got to attach them at the back of the head here. I got this side ready. Now this side, I'm just going to buy what came out. I'm not sure this is right, but there's a stud that goes in here with a 10 mil, holds the line on. And that goes into the back of the timing cover. Then it's going to have this grounding strap. And then a nut that goes on that. That'll be this side. And that's also 10 mil. There we go. Now this side, I would have thought should have had a stud on it as well, but I guess that'll have to ground someplace else. This has this little box on here. That'll go back there, and that's a 13 mil. Okay. This wire will go onto that. And then I'm going to do a wiring check, make sure we got everything connected, because your O2 sensors hook up and your solenoids hook up. So we want to make sure that's all connected. I vacuumed out in here, but I'm going to keep the vacuum handy because as I pull these rigs out, I'm going to have the vacuum going, try to prevent anything from going down here, and then we're going to put the intake on. You can see right now that I have to hook up my O2 sensor on this side. So that'll be fun. Where do you go? Well, you gotta plug in someplace. Where are you gonna plug in at? No, that might be. Oh, maybe you go there. So you plug into here. Oh, that's where you go. Right there. Let me introduce you to. Here we go. Okay, click. Excellent. So that's done. I know I've got stuff hooked up on that side. Got to hook up that coolant line. I think I'll do that now rather than later. So I like to take a little Vaseline, just put it in the hose, just a little bit, just enough to give it a little bit of slipperiness. Makes it a lot easier to put things on and take them off in the future. Oh yeah, like butter now. Well, Mike's back. Mike, would you do me a favor, hand me those water pump pliers, please? Thank you, sir.
Yep, I did my friendly duty.
Did you? There we go. Happy? Yeah. Am I ever really happy? Yeah, I'm happy.
It's a philosophical question.
We're good. We're good. I can live with that. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get these rags out of here, but I want the vacuum going when I do it so I can suck up all the dirt that's on the rags as they come out. Then we'll do a quick inspection, and then we'll go ahead and put the intake on. Now the intake, I thought I had new seals for it. I took a look, I can't find them, so we're just gonna risk it. Use the old seals. They're usually okay to go. The back ones look a little flat, but we're gonna give it a go. Worst case scenario, it's not that hard to get off later, and we can replace the seals.
We won't put the hood on just in case.
Yeah.
What do you call this? This edge.
Flange, I guess.
That looks exceptionally clean. That must have been cleaned by a pro.
Well, I don't know if it's exceptionally clean, but yeah, it's okay. It'll do
It's
in a
average.
pinch.
You know what? I'm a pretty average guy, so that seems about right.
It'll work in a pinch. Yes, you did a fine job, Mike. You know what? Let's grab our air hose and just give those a little.
Okay.
Just a little bit of dirt down in there. Just blow it out best we can. Some of them have it, some of them don't. The airline's ready to go.
So it is. That's nice, comes right out and does a nice arc right into the other side.
What are you saying? All right.
Make work project.
There, but kind of see. Do that over. See how these are kind of flush right here,
Okay.
but these standing a little bit proud still.
Oh yeah, I see what you
So
mean.
these, I'm not worried about these sealing. Back ones, they should still seal, but I don't know if they can see that on the camera or not. But
Back, I guess it'll be driver's side? No, passenger side will be the one to concern about it.
well, I think we're pretty good. We're in good shape.
Yep, everything seems like it is lining up.
That wire's where it's supposed to go, and that goes there. When you start tightening the manifold down, it'll be time for the old motion capture there.
Seems
Not
right.
motion capture, what do you call that? Time lapse.
Time lapse.
Sorry, my animator coming out in me in the motion capture. Okay, I don't think we need the vacuum. Well, we're underneath the charger. I'm just finishing up a few things under here. I thought I'd show you a couple things. Now, one of the things I want to show you is the torque converter bolt right here. I want to make sure you put some Loctite on those. And it's right here. As you can see, this requires 2 bolts per spot. Like I said, 6 in total. Here's the other one. Got to look up the torque value. I don't remember what it is on the top, off the top of my head. I thought I'd show you a couple other things while I'm under here. So right here is our differential. You can see one of the attached bolts there, one there. There's the fill plug. Come underneath. See a few more bolts right here. And over here, that's your through axle. Goes through the oil pan and engages into the differential. That's held on by 4 bolts, and then this bracket here, there's a couple bolts there and one up top to the engine mount. Same sort of deal. I don't know if you can see it very well on this one, but there's a bracket right there. Goes up to the engine mount, has a couple bolts in it. Focus camera, come on, you can do it. There you go. You got a couple bolts up here, 3 down here. I didn't take it off of the differential. I left those 3 bolts in down there, and I just took the 2 out up there. So that's kind of having a look under here. A couple other things to tidy up and just spin around here. You can see we got the exhaust that we got to do yet. There's 2 nuts there, 1 on each side. Got to find the other one. Don't know where that one went. Over here, there's our drive shaft going in, front drive shaft going in the differential. And again, we got their exhaust that we'll have to do up. So, a few things to do. All right, we've got this thing to a point where we can test fire. We can't run it long, but we don't want to go a whole lot further until we actually test it out a little bit and make sure it's going to run, because we don't know anything about this engine, and we don't want to waste a whole bunch of time putting more stuff on it if it's not going to run. So we're going to give it a test fire, see what happens. We'll run it for a few seconds, shut her down. Okay, you ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Fingers crossed.
No doubt. Oh, I hear
Clear.
fuel noises. Good. Start. Turns over.
Yeah, it was making some knocky sounds that I didn't like.
Okay. You probably can't see it, but it's just filling out with smoke.
I don't know why it's not running right. Not happy. Whew. Surging. Maybe it's because we got that EGR valve out.
Yep, that filled up quick, eh?
Yeah. It didn't sound horrible. It didn't sound like we had any real bad
No,
noise.
we didn't. We don't have the exhaust buttoned up, hey, on the one side, right?
Well, either side.
Oh, you did either side. Okay, so that's why it's.
Oh, I'm glad I opened the door though.
Yep, that
Yep.
was a wise decision.
Yep.
Going out right now.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
how do you how do you close off the EGR valve?
We'll have to get the line on it.
Oh, okay.
Which I happen to have right here. And where's that cold air intake? Right there. I'll just take care of those right now. I forgot that we got a great big black vacuum leak right there. It's not gonna like that.
Should shut off the suction anyways, eh?
Okay. Alright, let's give that a go.
Okay. That sounds better.
That's running good. I'm liking that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear how that thing sounds under a load. It's gonna get a nice spark to it. All right, let's get this thing done. I told you we were gonna replace that axle, so see what good in the box of goodies. I think there's more than an axle in here, isn't there? Oh, there's one box. What do you think that is, Mike?
Presents.
It's a present.
Hopefully it's a water pump present.
It is a water pump present, and it's even got a new gasket.
Sweet.
Fantastic. It even looks like the right one, doesn't it? That's fantastic when it's the right one. Okay, well, that's for you.
Thank you.
Are we done? No. More in here. Aha! Now this present's for me, isn't it? Yes, sir.
It's like Christmas for boys, hey?
It is. It really is. But let's just compare that to our old one here. Looks about the same to me. Nice.
Excellent.
Hey?
Who
What
needs
these are, right?
Who needs a gym, man?
Yeah, that's right. All right, man, let's get this together.
Right on. We're close.
Oh, help if we reconnected the battery, right?